so it's almost been 2 weeks. First of all, I'm sorry I didn't post a video last week. To be honest, so far it's not been easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's been stressed, depressed lemon zest, as my girlfriend likes to say. I have decided to make this video sat down because I don't have quite the energy to make another extremely energetic video and everything. Some of you care, some of you don't give a and it's okay. I mean, however, I guess it's a good thing I can talk to you about these kind of subjects, and because these last couple weeks have been tough, I have decided to talk about this subject. I believe it's not taken seriously enough. We've all heard this term like so many times, like I'm depressed, I'm feeling depressed, and I'm feeling this and I'm feeling that. But depression is not as easy as it might appear to be. Depression is a mental illness that's not to be taken lightly. It causes someone to stop working properly. It makes you rethink your whole life, your whole choices, your whole path, who you are, what you want to do. It prevents you from doing the things you actually love to do. When you're depressed, and I mean the real depression, not like grief or sadness, you need to have been depressed for at least 2 weeks. If it lasts, then it means that it's depression. Depression can also be mistaken with other physical disease like thyroids problem. I don't know how you say this. Thyroid. Most of the time when you say to people that you have depression or that you are depressed, the reflex they will have is to tell you, come on, you're a real man, get over it. It's not like that. When someone gets shot in the leg, you just don't go, come on bruh, it ain't nothing, you stronger than a motherfucking bullet, ain't ya? Come on, let's go around the mile. Come on. Unlike a wound or even a broken bone, depression is not something that you can see and fix easily. When you have a wound, you put a patch on it. When you have a broken bone, you go to surgery and you fix it, and then your bone just, it repairs itself. It takes time for someone to realize that they are depressed, that they have depression. It's not like you get depressed. It's not like I'm happy then I'm depressed. No, it slowly goes down step by step until you're just completely lost. You've lost taste for life. You've lost taste for your loved activities. You cannot eat, or you eat too much, so you lose or you gain weight. You cannot sleep, or you sleep too much and it impacts your life. It's not something to be taken lightly. People don't just tend to commit suicide only to gather attention. Some do, of course, just like in any other situation, but putting in the same bag every person that's depressed saying that they are seeking attention is the most stupid thing ever, because not everybody reacts the same to wounds. Because once again, it's a wound. You're trying to accept, you're trying to get better, but you can't. Some people are gonna make you appear like you're the bad guy, like you should make efforts to get out of your depression. It's not like that. Once again, you do not tell someone who suffered a wound from an external source that they're the problem. They're not the problem. They're victims. Now that all of that's been said, I'm going to talk to you about how my depression started and when it was the worst of all. I first started experiencing symptoms of depression when I was in middle school. I was kind of small, I was kind of fat. People just didn't want to make friends with me. I had no friends. My grades were bad. Like, I was just trying to have fun in school, and instead I was getting punished all the time because I was getting bad grades. It started, I think, at this moment. People were extremely mean to me for many reasons. Growing up, it stayed. I was depressed all the time. I was faking my mood and I was trying to fit in, because someone who's depressed is viewed in the society as someone you should cast out, when really it's not. I've been growing up with depression in Burkina Faso for maybe 6 years or something, from 13 to 19. And when I left, when I was 19 and I came in France, is when it started to go even lower. I was living in a hot country, doing sports all the time. I had a social life. In my final year, it was, I think, the happiest I have ever been or I have ever felt, because I had friends, I was getting strong, I had lost weight, I had gained muscle. So when I came in France, it was cold, people were cold. It's two different places, it's two different moods, people are not the same, and it is what it is. However, I just couldn't adapt. I had no friends. I was living alone. Hey baby, hey. I was in a flat that I didn't choose. Nothing was right. I was trying to get into a bakery school. They wanted me to part-time with a bakery so that I could learn better or faster, and I was like, of course I would like to, I would love to, but you have to help me out. I'm coming from Burkina Faso. I can't just find a job just like this 4 days before the school starts, you know. It was not impossible, but I just couldn't do it. So the first year was like, all right, I'm gonna try my best and be as happy as I can be and live my life to the fullest, because at the same time, it was the first time ever that I was living alone. I was living free. I could do whatever I wanted with either my money or my time. Part of me was enjoying it. Another was kind of like, yeah, I want to have my friends back. I want to have my life back. I miss all these things. That's when the lowest part is coming. During the second year I was in France, I finally got accepted into the bakery school. I found that part-time job at the same time in a bakery, and I was like, everything is going to be okay. The first days, it was amazing. It was amazing because I was like, that's art. And I was like, I'm creating things. That's nice. And after a couple of days, one of the staff members started calling me Negro. He was like, hey Negro, come back here. I was like, man, you know, I'm not a Negro, you know, I have a name. I was like, you know, I'm kidding. This is the kind of French humor that I do not like at all. They insult you and then they're like, I'm kidding. No, you're not kidding. These words hurt. Just do not use them. In Burkina Faso, I'm considered white, so I have never ever in my life experienced racism, except for when I came in France. So I was like, man, just don't call me that, please. I like you and all, but just don't call me that. After a couple of months, things started to go bad. The boss of the bakery was extremely racist, and I had no idea about this. I didn't know that he was racist at all. He was calling me like Bougnoul. It's a racial slur that's supposed to describe Maghrebian people. I'm not Maghrebian, but based on my skin complexion and my hair, they had decided that I was Bougnoul, or a Negro. So this guy, when I told him not to call me Negro, he was like, Mr. Congolese. I was like, bro, I'm not Congolese. That's no, don't call me that. When you call me Congolese, it's just like Africa is Congo. Because in France, when you say you come from Africa, people assume that you come from Congo. And I don't. I come from Burkina Faso and I'm Senegalese. My name is Jad. Don't call me by something you think I am. And exact same thing. He was like, you know, I'm kidding. Stop taking things so heartily. And I was like, bro, I'm trying to tell you that I'm not only my skin complexion, I'm not only my hair, I'm not only whatever you think I am. My name is Jad. I have a history. I'm not a skin color. Call me by my name. Congolese, 3 syllables. Jad, 1. Fuck you. It was not even the hardest part. The boss was so racist that he was just calling me racial slurs all the time, and he would be shouting at me that I'm good at nothing, that I would be nothing, that I would probably die in a caniveau. He would look at me and say, you're never going to find a job because you're worthless, and you will never find something that will ever suit you because you're a piece of shit. That was every day, every single day. Just try to imagine that for a whole year, every single day I was waking up, that's what I had in my face. You're a piece of shit, you're worthless, I hope you never come back. Why did you hire me in the first place if you didn't like my face? And that's when it started to go low and lower and lower. At about a moment, I was like, I can't take it anymore. And one day, this guy was like, hey Negro, come back. And I was like, my name is not Negro, don't call me that. Next day, he was like, hey Negro, come back. And I was like, bro, I told you yesterday, don't call me that. Are you deaf? Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Stupid or dumb? Do not
call me Negro.
And the third day, he started again, so I hit him in the face. Violence is never ever the solution, but with this guy and this staff, words just couldn't work. I was saying that I wanted to be treated the same as everyone else, that I didn't like the fact that the boss was humiliating me all the time. Every day I was humiliated. I was trying to talk, I was trying to tell them, but as soon as I was trying to say something, the boss would just shout at me that I should never speak unless spoken to. And I was like, we are not in the army. That's not how it works. I cannot let this thing just go on. Keep in mind that it was the first time that it happened to me. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know it was racism because I had never experienced it my whole life. Right when I hit the guy, the boss turned around and he was like,
why did you do that?
And I was like, I told him not to call me that word, and he did. I warned him several times, he never listened. I had to do something, and I will not apologize. He said okay. He called everyone in his office except for me, and since I wasn't invited, I couldn't know what they were talking about. When everybody got out, I went to one of the guy that I didn't hate, and I was like, what happened? What did he tell you? And he said, nothing much. He said that we should not call you these words anymore, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Little did I know, the boss said, I have a plan. We're gonna make him quit. We're gonna break him. Every day from that day, they started giving me impossible chores or extremely tiring. They were only giving me the thing to wash. I was only able to wash things. No more bakery for me. For 8 months, I couldn't touch any more bakeries. At first I was like, that's part of the job, I'm going to do it. And then I realized something was off because nobody was cleaning. I never left on time ever. Never ever. I was always doing overtime. One day, there were so many things to clean that I had to stay for 2 more hours. I had to stay and clean everything, the whole lab, and they went out eating in restaurant and I was not invited. It didn't stop here. It was extremely hard for me to focus, to do like basic chores. It was the lowest of my depression. Some intrusive thoughts came into my mind. At some point, I couldn't stand up in the shower. I had to sit down. I had to sit down every time. My vision was blurry. Everything was getting black, and there were black spots everywhere. And I was like, what's supposed to be what? Where's supposed to be what? I was completely confused. I started crying every day. I was calling my mom. I was sitting in my car. I had no motivation to turn on the car and drive home. Everything was boring, everything was sad, and that's when the intrusive thoughts were the most present, and I started hating everybody. In my mind, I was a monster because I was hating the people that loved me the most and that I loved the most. But I was hating them and I couldn't help. I couldn't stop myself. So I talked about it to my school and they were like, maybe you should do more efforts to fit in. They started to make me feel like I was the problem. So fast forward 5 more months, it was just every day the same thing. There's this French expression that we use. It's like métro boulot dodo, and it was just that. I had no social life. I couldn't do anything. I was helpless. The simple fact that I was thinking about doing things exhausted me. After all that, I finally got my diploma. I was like, yeah, I did it. I proved it. But to whom? I wanted to have this diploma. I wanted to prove everybody that I could make it. I won, but at what cost? If I'm telling you all that, it is so that you can understand that depression is not something that just happens. Depression is something that builds up or builds down. Some things happen in your life, some things that you can or cannot cope with, and these things affect your mood on a daily basis, and this daily basis mood affects your weekly basis mood and your monthly basis mood, and you just become that. You just become depressed because you start smiling less and less and less and less. You can't help it. Never ever blame someone for being depressed. I hope this helped a bit people that may be struggling with depression or other mental illnesses. Go and talk to your friends. They will understand that just like any other wound, it needs to be treated. So just talk to everybody you can. Just talk it out. It's the most efficient way to make it go away, to heal, is to talk. Thank you a lot for watching this video. I know it wasn't as energetic as I'm used to be. I just thought it was important to talk about it. Thank you again, and have a nice week.